Hello everybody, we are back with another deck in Standard. This time we are going to be looking at a Boros Legends deck. This is going to be a deck that looks very similar to one of my previous Boros decks, but it's going to be a bit more optimized this time around. The big changes in this deck are that we are adding Ao the Dawn Sky, Elish Norn, and Kyodai, Soul of Kamigawa. One major change in this deck is that we have slimmed the amount of creatures in this deck as compared to the last one, and we're really looking after getting the combo of Raiyuu, Tori D'Avenant, and Djeru and Hazoret. So let's see how this deck now performs on a second playthrough, and make sure to stick around at the end of the video where we go over how well the deck played and my thoughts on this deck. Alright, so we are going to be going first. I'm going to go ahead and keep this hand. Perfect. We love to see it. Let's go with the Goro-Goro, and then we're going to go Risona next. So they'll consider, gets rid of their blue, so that's good to see. Or we could go Adeline. Adeline is a thought on that. Let's go with the Adeline. Let's go ahead and go with the Adeline. So now we've got the Tori D'Avenant, we've got Elish Norn, we've got a Squee too. So something that deals 3 damage or destroys an artifact. Okay, so let's see. Should we go Elish Norn? Or do we go Squee? I think we might go Squee. Let's just attack with all of them. We'll go to blockers. That sounds great to me. They're down to 6. We'll end our turn. So we've got Squee available. We've got things ready. We are ready. Risona if we really need to. I'd love to see what they end up doing with the Abrade. They go get Goro-Goro. That's alright. And we'll go with the Risona and attack all in, and that should be game. Nice, quick, and easy. Look at that work. Nice, quick, and easy. On to this next game. Alright, opponent is going to be going first. I'm going to keep this one. I think I might go Plains and then Mistress Foundry. Alright, so I'm going to go with the Plains and then probably Mishra's Foundry right after that. We'll get Thalia down on this next turn. Opponent hasn't played anything yet. Slightly worrisome. So Thalia comes down. Perfect. Rem could have been really nice to have right there to start, so let's go Rem. You'll attack in. So we could go Raiyuu, or we could go your Knight. Well, that doesn't work. Okay. And we win. We win. Rem is able to stop mono red burn. Obviously, they were a burn deck on that one. Rem, really good when you're facing something like that. I think I might keep this hand, even though everything is screaming not to. So we get the Adeline, so they play the Celestis, alright. Which means I'm gonna go Squee. I'm gonna go Squee there. Teferi. Draw a card. Okay. Mountain. Let's go Adeline. Let's go get Teferi. Just let everything kill Teferi there. Let's not worry about it. So we've got a pretty big board presence here. They cast nothing. All right. Okay. Tori D'Avenant. So we're playing something with 4 mana. So we could go, let's go with Tori D'Avenant. We'll get the red Tori D'Avenant. Oh, do we only have 5 mana? We only had 5 mana. Oh, that really stinks. I thought we had 6. Because I was going to keep up the Angelic Intervention, but we don't even have that. Wow. Opponent's down to 3. Oh, it would have been nice to have Angelic Intervention up. Wandering Emperor. Okay. That's gonna take out Squee. But they have to do something bigger than that. Yeah. They had to do something bigger than that to be able to survive. That was a big board. That was a big board. Big win. Alright, welcome back after those games. I think this second version of this Boros Legends deck showed to be pretty dang good. I would definitely say that this is a certified keep as the way that it is. If you have any suggestions, I think that this deck could still be made to be better. So if you have any suggestions, leave those in the comments below. But let's talk about what's exactly in this deck. So I know that we've talked about it before, some of these cards, but I definitely put in some Angelic Intervention. I wanted to be able to have the option to protect my creatures that are out here. Plus, it's a creature, so it's going to get a +1/+1 counter on it. So that's one of the things that seemed to be a problem in the other deck that we had, is that we would play the cards and then we had nothing to protect it, and we just never really drew into cards that we really wanted. So it made things a little bit difficult. So Angelic Intervention, having 2 of them, makes me feel a little safer about playing cards. One of the other new ones that's also used as a little bit of a protection is the Kyodai, Soul of Kamigawa. This one can come in as flash, so it's basically an Angelic Intervention, except it is a creature, it's flying, and it gives a target permanent indestructible. So if we run into the only thing that it can not stop is exiling effects, which there aren't a ton. So So that's a good card to have in our deck. So let's talk a little bit more about some of the other cards. So we've got Thalia's, of course. It's a legendary creature, really nice to play early game. Has the non-creature. It makes things cost more, which is nice. So then we've got a Goro-Goro, Disciple of Ryusei. I added a couple extra in this version of the deck because this is one of the cards I do want to have, because then we can have haste creatures out there if Goro-Goro can survive. If somehow we can get Goro-Goro to be modified, we can create 5/5 spirit dragon spirits, which is nice. Adeline, obviously really good card. Last game really shows how well Squee and Adeline can work together. Adeline becomes huge with Squee because they're both creating tokens every turn, so Adeline's going to be gaining 2 extra power every time it attacks with Squee. I added a couple more Squees because Squee is a little bit... it showed to be a really good card to have, so I wanted to make sure we had more of those so that we were able to draw into Squeeze. I don't have as many Rems. This card is really nice when we're playing against mono red because all they have is burn spells when they're dealing anything. So if they have a deck that's literally just dealing damage to us or our creatures, Rem is going to stop them from being able to do anything, and we can really take over on a game. So you could argue that you could put more Rems in there, but the way that we have the deck set out, we want to be utilizing the Raiyuu Storm's Edge ability, so it needs to be a samurai or warrior. Unfortunately, Rem is just not. It's a human knight, so that makes it a little bit more tough to want to have more based off of what I want to do with the deck. Then we have Risona. I dropped a couple down because it seems like we need to be able to have the board presence in order for Risona to really be able to attack in and really utilize its ability to keep an indestructible counter. So I dropped that down a little bit so that we can draw more of the creatures that create more, like Adeline and Squeeze, and making sure we have more Goro-Goros. I've already talked about the Kyodai. Elish Norn is a new card that we've added to this list. I've grabbed 2 of them because what we're really utilizing is making it really difficult for the opponent to want to attack us or any of our creatures, because they have to lose life unless they pay mana. So it's nice to be able to do something like that. Obviously, Fallaji is a really good card if you can get it out there. Brought it down to 2 because we kind of don't need it as much as we do the Raiyuu, Tori D'Avenants, the Squeeze, the Adelines, the Goro-Goros, the Thalias. We don't need it as much, but it is nice to have when we are getting it onto the field. So we've got 3 Raiyus. Obviously, this is what we've talked about this card a little bit more in the last deck and this one. We can have extra combat phases. That's really nice. I love having extra combat phases as long as we're attacking alone with a samurai or a warrior, which we've got plenty of those. And then we've got, obviously, the Tori D'Avenant. Really good card to have. We can, almost every one of our cards can become a Trampler and Vigilancer when Tori D'Avenant attacks. So it's really nice to be able to have this card in the game. And then I've added Ayo the Dawn Sky so that we have something. If it's flying with vigilance, it's 5/4, it's pretty good toughness, but when it dies, we have the ability to do something with it, either getting any of our cards that are the 4 mana, so basically our entire deck, or we can add +1/+1 counters if we need to as well. And then I've almost completed the set of Djeru and Hazoret for this deck. Wanted to be able to play. It's a good card to be able to have because obviously everything in our deck is a legendary, other than the Angelic Interventions. So we're able to get cards out there if we when we attack with the Djeru and Hazoret. So obviously really nice to have. Cheating in cards is always going to be good. So having 3 of is really nice. Didn't necessarily see them in the games today, but we got close to being able to play Djeru and Hazoret. Could have been really nice to have in some of the matchups, but this is the deck. Again, like we said, if you see something to make this deck even better, leave it in the comments below. Other than that, I think that this deck is a certified keep the way that it is. It runs pretty smoothly. Runs really smoothly. So, until next time.
I went for the head.